little fake ass monkeys. They really think being pale skinned walking around my land is like a safety net. No, it's not. You show your ignorance, you show you haven't accomplished nothing, and you're not diversified. You walk around me, I'm gonna check you. If you do something stupid, I'm gonna school you. I don't care who you think you are. Don't think that pale skin get you safe around me. I'll challenge you and break your little emotions and feelings. I don't like ignorance. Never did. I'll check your ass in a way you've never been checked. Okay, I want to make sure I'm going to bring that again. Okay. For I have loved thee. It's funny when you step away from the love, it means you love not thyself. You become a composite. Even a clone has love. For without my deeds and works, a clone would never have been. Stop being stupid, people. Let the idiots idiot and let them find out. Okay, that's good. Be a chicken shit. Isn't that the term? Don't be one now. I told you to have your people's mind their fucking manners. I'm not begging you. I told you. I told you, y'all die. That's a fact. Wouldn't it be funny to see somebody with bad knees, bad back move like light? No, it would be. Then, nah, I would not me. I would never. I have no need to. None whatsoever. I already informed everybody they know to come here, so don't be retarded, don't be stupid. I'm not asking, telling, or anything. I'm giving you a fucking hard lesson. Don't be fucking stupid, all right? Do with that thing. Okay. I see they came in with the, and then they decided to unbooty it. Let me make sure it's not doing the, you know what I mean? If you all hold on, or if you can hear me, as long as it ain't doing the. Oh, okay, I guess it is playing. Hey, hey, what's going on? I don't know what your name is. So we're gonna get it in. I want to read a few things. Pick up from yesterday. Don't worry, we're gonna get into the tartary and all that today. I just gotta charge that up. I'm still on my fast. I haven't broken it. I mean, I'm still doing tobacco. And when I do the next fast I do, once I insulate this, I'm not gonna tell you how long it's gonna be for. You'll know when I start. You'll know when I end. All last night I was thinking about ATL chicken wings. And then I had the worst craving ever, right? Celery, cucumber, and carrot sticks, right? Like I used to cut them like that with zucchini chips. No seed or no fry, no nothing. Just what I've got to find some more Hawaiian black salt. I know a couple of friends come in here. Aloha when you come, brothers and sisters. I need some of that black Hawaiian salt, Hawaiian black salt. I call it Hawaiian black salt, but I need some more of that. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is like awesome. I went to that when I stopped messing with Himalayan. I still enjoy Himalayan pink mountain. It doesn't matter. We eat meat, but anyway, I still use it every once in a while because I think Himalayan pink salt, pink Himalayan salt, which y'all know is anyway where it's from. I put on apples and pears. It is like and oranges. Like you just pick your hand and then eat it like that. Oh, it's phenomenal. So I had that craving. Oh, ATL chicken wings are like the best. And Westside, I took a picture. Me and T, when we were coming back from Golden Corral, veterans. You know, we went out there late in the evening. It was still a line outside. It was just packed. Met another young man who was in the Navy. Big afro, awesome afro. That's why I had that in that short, you know, because afro is nothing to do with Africa. Afro has everything to do with Malaysia, here, even the Filipino negritos. I met a beautiful Philippine young lady and her Korean boyfriend. I just cracked my back by accident and it hurts. Anyway, and we had a long conversation. He has my number. I'm going to be going to some Taekwondo underground matches where people sign waivers and literally like underground, you know, fight club type thing. Anyway, and they were surprised at all the information. I knew they were like, and I was talking to the Korean kid and I was like, are you aware of that? He was like, how you know? I was like, bro, I'm not supposed to know who I am on this soil, that we didn't have straight long hair, that we had some of the biggest beautiful fros, and them fake Zionists, these fake Jews, right, who aren't even Jews, they're not even religious, these frauds who are cloning and doing all the dumb things and poisoning and putting synthetics and dyes and chemicals, and they're using all these fake Hindu doctrine and everything else. You think that I'm going to sit there and be quiet because they got a bunch of monkeys walking around who are overly conditioned and mentally retarded? Man, and he was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, well, you know now, brother. I respect individuals who respect themselves. And then we got a lot of our people, and you know the term whitewash is literal. There's a book on it. I have several books on it, but it's literal. Who are walking around who are nothing but Negroes, and their blood, some of them still have that old positive or negative blood type. But you would think that there's this new white, not knocking my light-skinned brothers and sisters. It's just facts. I can't stop the fact that people were nurtured and raised in ignorance. There's nothing I can do about it. Nothing at all. But what I can do on this side, from this particular dimension, is tell the truth regardless of what you accept. Yes, there are melanated people that hate themselves. How did they get there? Well, think about chaos in the system, looking outside. Instead of being an introvert, you're an extrovert. Some people think the introvert is some bad thing. You know, the person that starts to wake up and they walk alone, do you know what happens with them? The people who are close to them become an enemy. Why do they become an enemy? It's a dangerous thing when you separate yourself, even from those close to you and those who think they know. I'm not saying physical. Like, I always challenge all the dumb stuff going on because I find it funny. But I'm fortunate, maybe like a handful of other individuals, we've got to see something that most people never will. Well, I mean, before it happens, right? We got to see something that we had a hard time holding and grab, you know, like, when me just sit there and say, I don't know how many times I've said it's never going to change. I've seen the end. I know what happens. I don't care what the idiots do. I have a story to tell. It's not going to change. And that they keep pursuing and being persistent and holding on and thinking it's going, because what they've done outside of, it's not normal. And they have established to think that it's something magnificent. They think that, oh, I'm gonna die old and then. No, it's not how it works. I'm not here to convince or prove nothing. Only a person in fear who thinks they gain everything, moving in a way that's dogmatic, that has nothing to do with reality, based on the circumstances of that individual's conditioning. You think that that's supposed to, I don't care about it. Only the people who are worried care. Only the individuals who want to keep doing the dumb shit they do are afraid. Afraid of what? They put up fake smiles and everything else. No, the individuals who separate themselves from everybody, that's some whole different shit. There's nothing wrong with being in a relationship, having those you love, or whatever you want to call it, or my beard, y'all. Excuse me, because I have to do this because, you know, my beard, it'll look like a Mexican. Look, my beard, yes, my Mexican brother, yes, I get the porcupine mustache and all, so shut up, all right? I love y'all. Anyway, right? So I got to try to keep it, don't all over it. They want to stick it. Anyway, that's no hate, but you have these individuals still moving like they think they're doing something, some secretive, and that. Have people been cloned? I don't care. Are people glitching? I don't care. I'm glitching right now because I just cracked my back, my strain of muscle getting up in here because I ain't gotten a whole lot of minerals and stuff in me right now. I done peed it all out. I think I got up one time to pee last night, and that was after slumbering for like 7 hours. 7 or 8. I like to get up at night. I like to drink a lot of water before I go to sleep. It's just me. I'm not saying anybody do it. So that way I can get up, because I'm always waking up anyway, right? And I go to the bathroom, and I let my mind wander. I look in the mirror when I used to be in the home, you know, and now I just let my mind wander, and I look at the sky, and then I go back. And then I wake up again, and I say, I don't have to pee. Let's see if I can make myself pee like some military. Urinalysis. Oh, God, I ain't gotta pee. And then you can't stop peeing all day. Well, I do that at night because I want to force cleanse them. Anyway, it's my business, right? You don't want to do that when you want to be able to slumber and your body be at rest, no movement, no nothing. Okay? But I do with purpose. Anyway, is it dangerous? Absolutely. So when you start to separate because you awareness, or you accept another reality, or whatever you want to call it, the changes. There's a lot. Hey, Niz. Happy anniversary. I didn't know it was your anniversary, hon. 25 years. Awesome. Hey, Kanuko Bees. What's up? Selena Hernandez. Hi. Will you only say it one time? You sound like you're too young to be here. All right, Thom, I got you, beloved. Pura vida, you know, buenos dias. Yeah. So I know I'm not working, I'm not lifting no weights. That was just, you move wrong, you bend over, pick up a pencil. Yeah, my back been out so many times, I don't even, I'm no cap. Look, even my wrist was bothering me this morning. I had to put on my little wrist thing, you know what I'm saying? And it bothered me where the pain is not egregious. I just slap it on. You know, the VA wanted to deny me. You gotta remember when I fell on the carrier's deck, iron, I landed on my hand with 180, 90 pounds of me behind it. And so, and they were like, this little fake homosexual Asian, all right, knew he was already told what to do because that's how dumb these Jews, these fake Zionists are. They denied me from my left knee, which got scars from the incident, my wrist. I'm like, well, you can't make this level of stupidity up. You know, because that's how they move. They're too dumb to do anything right. They'll lose control. And they don't have no control. Anyway, I want to read this stuff to you. I just want to give that little, get your rustle, get your feathers rustle, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're going to start off, you know, with the signs of the sacred secretion. No, actually, yeah. Let me make sure. I got you know me, I got everything in a certain order. Okay? No, actually, we're not going to start off with that. We're going to start off with Eckhart Tolle, okay? Whew. The sun's going to be beaten down in a minute. Anyway, so I don't want it to mess. You know what? I'm going to have to put that little mylar up, okay? I'm going to have to put the mylar up because I don't want the sun to, you know, well, the sun is beautiful, but I don't, if you know what I'm saying, I don't want it to, let me sure I got this right. 47, 43, 45. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So I'm gonna put this in the order that I'm gonna read it. Okay. Put that right there. Eckhart Tolle. Let me put this up in the window. It's still kind of cool, but it's gonna get hot here in a minute. So I'm just gonna throw this. This actually goes in the front, guys, and that kind of blocks it. But we're just gonna throw it inside like all we do. All right. On the side, my leather jacket. I keep this leather jacket. This leather jacket is old, y'all. If you see this leather jacket, you'll be like, that's a Black Panther. I ain't no damn Black Panther, man. Look at it here. That's a Black Panther jacket. It's an old leather black jacket. It's like one of those, yeah. But it's not that. Let's put this up because the sun's coming over. And it's coming kind of quick, surprisingly. All right? And it keeps it kind of cool. All right, there we go. So, yeah, mylar. All right, so the power of now. If it starts going, I'll see it. Just let me know. You know, I know y'all hit it up. Please hit the like. If you come here and you're saying hi and all that stuff, hit the like. I appreciate it. I don't get it. Dion, what's up? There's a whole bunch of you. There's more than 3 of you I know. And the like helps. I mean, if y'all haven't figured that out yet. I mean, I know on Facebook I said, you know, it's funny how I know all these people over here and they're unsupportive, and yet I support them. That's kind of weird. I support them. They don't do nothing for me. They don't give me. They don't help me. They don't guide me. All right. If anything, a whole lot of them, when they didn't think they were Jews or Hebrews, I got them being Hebrews, and that wasn't my intention. My intention was to get them to look a little further. There are people who use drugs and a lot of alcohol. I assisted in helping them to stop. You know, I've worked with many women and children. I'm just putting an accolade out because I knew the importance of change, and I work on change all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. Your enemy wants to change you, or your offspring, or just get rid of you, or whatever. That's change, or whatever. And that helps. Anyway, let me go ahead and get to reading, okay? Let me get this. I got a couple bags of them bad boys. Oh, and thanks for those who donated yesterday. I appreciate it, okay? Once I get done here and I charge this up, I'll fill my tank up, so that way I'm good to go for the week. And Monday, like I said, I'll be able to go to the bank. Oh, that's so sweet. Anyway, and and because I got to work, I got to be at work at 12 o'clock, I think. 12, and this is the first week or two is training. It's mostly training, and but it's closing. It's work. It's actual work. But I also have to go to the post office, so I appreciate so I can fill the tank all the way up. And like I said, I still had like $40-50. And the fasting, I'm not supposed to be all exerting myself, even in traffic and all that. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Okay. So if you hit the like, I appreciate it. If you share it, comment, I appreciate it. If you come back, if you have another stipulation of thought, put it in the comment section, share it. It helps. It really does. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead. Give up the relationship with yourself. Okay. My day is fine, Selena Hernandez. How was yours? I hope you hit the like, because I know that Tom, I know that Baby Girl Slaughter, and Dion, I know that they hit the like. I'd appreciate if you hit the like. It would be very, very monumentous. Oh, and the sun just came out here. Okay. All right, so here, listen up. This is Eckhart Tolle, all right, The Power of Now. And if you don't have the book, I would ask that you get it. Or, not sponsor me or anything like that, but for purposes of knowledge, okay? Give up the relationship with yourself. When one is fully conscious, would one still have a need for a relationship? Would a man still feel drawn to a woman? Would a woman still feel incomplete without a man? I'm gonna read that again. I want you to really pay attention. Let me set this thing up because my posture is very important. And these old ass people that work for the CIA, they look so funny. Anyway, when one is fully conscious, would one still have a need for a relationship? Would a man still feel drawn to a woman? Would a woman still feel incomplete without a man? Enlightened or not, you are either a man or a woman, bottom line. So on the level of your form identity, you are not complete. You are one half of the whole. That's why it was beautiful to see, niece, 25 years. But that has nothing to do with anything. Whether you're drawn and it's really synced and locked. Enlightened or not, you are either a man or a woman, so on the level of your form identity, you are not complete. You are one half of the whole. This incompleteness, okay, is felt as male-female attraction. The pull toward the opposite energy polarity, no matter how conscious you are. But in that state of interconnectedness, you feel this pull somewhere on the surface or periphery, okay, of your life, in the whole circle of it. That's why they say yin and yang, dark and light. That's not what it means. It means two opposites that were always connected, so they're not really opposites. And the periphery, the circle of life, and that's why they convince you that the earth is some spinning ball and all that bull. Anyway, you feel this pull somewhere on the surface or periphery of your life. Anything that happens to you in that state feels somewhat like that. It does. Man, everything came around. Oh, it goes full circle. What you do in the dark comes the light. It's coming back to get you. Oh, there goes the roosters crowing. Blah, blah. You know how it goes. Anyway, the whole world seems like waves of ripples on the surface of a vast and deep ocean. You are that ocean. And of course, you are also a ripple. So you hear ocean, the first thing y'all think is, I'm drowning. Stop. That negates the service. That's what negates chaos and destruction. You're not drowning. Anyway, you are the ocean, and of course, you are also a ripple, but a ripple that has realized its true identity as the ocean. Now we're talking about coming into fully consciousness. It doesn't mean that you know everything. It means you're conscious now. Doesn't mean everything is at the tip of the pinnacle of operation. It means that you're more aware. And compared to that vastness and depth, the world of waves and ripples is not all that important. See, no, I don't need more something out of nothing. This does not mean that you don't relate deeply to other people or to your partner. In fact, you can relate deeply only if you are conscious of being, coming from being, okay? you are able to focus beyond the veil of form. In being male and female are one. Your form may continue, not to baffle that dumb shit, but anyway. Coming from being, you are able to focus beyond the veil of form. In being, male and female are one. Your form may continue to have certain needs, but being has none. It is already complete and whole. If those needs are met, the difference between physical and spiritual, or soul, whatever you want to call it, it is already complete and whole. If those needs are met, that is beautiful. But whether or not they are met makes no difference to your deep inner state. So it is perfectly possible for an enlightened person, individual, if the need for the male or female polarity is not met, to feel a sense of lack or incompleteness on the outer level of his or her being. So stop lying to yourself, putting up a false image, on the Titanic, arms out, and in the background you're scrapping like a motherfucker. Don't do it. The reality is it's not balance. To feel a sense of lack or incompleteness on the outer level of his or her being, yet at the same time be totally complete, fulfilled, and at peace within. In the quest of enlightenment, is being gay a help or a hindrance, or does it not make any difference? As you approach adulthood, uncertainty about your sexuality, followed by the realization that you are different from others, may force you to disidentify from socially conditioned patterns of thought and behavior. This will automatically raise your level of consciousness above that of the unconscious majority, whose members unquestionably take on the all inherited patterns. In that respect, being gay can be a help. Being an outsider to some extent, someone who does not fit in with others or is rejected by them for whatever reason, makes life difficult, but it also places you at an advantage. As far as enlightenment is concerned, it takes you out of unconsciousness, almost unconscious by force. But the thing is, that has nothing to do with morals, the specificalities of man and woman relationship and the balance between the two. That is just saying specifically. That's why I protected the homos, the gays. I would not allow nobody to go and beat and kill them. That's religion and everything else that's supposed to speak against it and the greater God by it, because it's still part of the brain conscious, the collective. How they got there, you got to remember, this is subversion. There's a divergence. There is something that creates it. There is chemicals, there's all kinds of poisons, but most don't know that. And then when you explain it, they've already breached the contract, but it does not mean that the contract is dead. See, that's where people get caught up in the world of physiology and physical. I love my sister. She likes women. Then she likes dick, I guess. I don't know. It's none of my business. My thing is that when she becomes aware and she's not argumentative and fighting and this, that, and other, and she takes that energy instead of making it all for the physical and uses it for the internal. That is what I wait for. Okay? And those who are compassionate enough to realize it, because sometimes the lesbian and the homosexual can be very perverted around you and you don't have to accept it. But do you have to put yourself in center stage of it? That's why I look at these people that put themselves in center stage of homosexual and lesbians, and then they're out there. God said, what God said that? We already know what normalcy should be. We know what the probable cause of morality is designed from, a natural state. Because it is unnatural does not make them inept. It does not mean they cannot give, but you must help guide them to a place where that connection can be rival that perversion. The perversion means, I've seen them talk in Greenwich Village. Oh, I could take your man, honey. See, that is a disease. That's what causes ass whoopings and people getting put down. They're physical, and they never arise or ascend. All right? That's the unconscious state. Then there are those who have children. They crossed over it. They partake in whatever it is, right? But somewhere in there, they realize, okay, I'm not going to batter and beat myself up. I'm not going to hate myself. Can't hate them. That's the worst thing you can do, because you hate yourself. I'm not saying that you don't have to be gay. It's part of the collective. It's bigger than you can imagine. And in doing so, you start to realize there's something else going on here. Sometimes they have words that inspire. And it doesn't mean to go and put something up your booty, man, or women to go and rub each other. It has nothing to do with that. It has enlightenment. And they are out there. but there's a lot of them still in pain because they're still. I don't accept homosexuality and lesbian, but I accept the individuals. On the other hand, if you then develop a sense of identity based on your gayness, you have escaped one trap only to fall into another. That's why I had to say what I said. You will play roles in games dictated by a mental image, and it is a mental disease you have of yourself as gay. You will become unconscious. So it's more somethings that where there should be nothing. If you're going to do what you're doing, keep it behind closed doors. You don't have to put it in everybody's face. What we see now, okay? You get where I'm coming from without me further. I'm not here to entrap myself in that nonsense. The reality is nonsense of words. The majority of gay and lesbian people are pretty damn good people. But they still have these fetishes. They still have this physical and not the spiritual. You will become unreal, all right? You will become unconscious, right? So you will play roles in games dictated by a mental image you have of yourself as gay. You will become unconscious. You will become unreal. And underneath your ego mask, you will become very unhappy. If this happens to you, being gay will have become a hindrance. But you always get another chance, of course. Acute happiness can be a great awakener. It doesn't mean that you stop being gay. It means that you stop playing the perverse game. You stop running and shoving shit in people's faces. I asked some gay people one time, I says, how do y'all, a couple of years ago from the res, how do you feel about these books in these schools? They went ham slam off. They can't stand it. They said if they could find the people that put it in there. I said, well, y'all know who it is. It's them Zios, ain't it? I says, well, you know it's a big network. They says, oh my, they hated it because they felt like every boy, they all had a story how they became that way. Not ever saying everybody does, but they hated it because they feel that every boy and every girl should never be told by their damn parents whether it should be a boy or a girl. They feel like if you come in this world as a boy, because they knew they were boys, and you're coming here as a girl, you should be guided and directed. They were fucked up. They weren't allowed that. That was honesty. So who are these so-called adults putting that shit in the schools? You should already know. Motherfuckers that want to be Bolsheviks are moved the same way. That one civil unrest and civil war, they created the races, the identity crisis. You know the names. You know everything. Now, is it not true that you need to have a good, excuse my language, people, please, have a good relationship with yourself and love yourself before you can have a fulfilling relationship with another person? Well, if you cannot be at ease with yourself when you are alone, you will seek a relationship to cover up your unease. That's destructive. You can be sure that the unease will then reappear in some other form within the relationship, abusive in many different fashions or forms, and you will probably hold your partner responsible for it. I'm going to stop there. Okay, we're going to highlight that and we'll carry on. Well, let me finish it. Because, okay, you know, I was doing that. I was going to give a cliffhanger. I'm not going to do it. If you cannot be at ease, remember that, okay? All you really need to do is accept this moment fully. It's always the moment now. You are then at ease in the here and now and at ease with yourself. If you can do that in the moment and keep in the moment, in the now, right now, not waver, extrapolate, allow yourself to ascend in the moment. But do you need to have a relationship with yourself at all? Why can't you just be yourself when you have a relationship with yourself? Well, you have split yourself into two. I and myself, subject and object. That mind-created duality is the root cause of all unnecessary complexities. The soul and the physical is supposed to be one. How do y'all read Christ and Buddha and all this stuff and not realize that they were telling you that there is no coexistence? It's always been one. The enemy's got you believing there's two different things, looking outside while being inside. Make that make sense. But do you need to have a relationship with yourself at all, right? So, of course, that mind-created duality is the root cause of all unnecessary complexity, of all problems and conflict in your life. In the state of enlightenment, you are yourself. Like when they brought that bullshit to, that's why I had to check a lot of so-called Native Americans. There's no two persons. You gotta come on with that nonsense on my soil. That foreign concept ain't even of this earth. You and yourself merge to one. You do not judge yourself. You do not feel sorry for yourself. You are not proud of yourself. You do not love yourself. You do not hate yourself, and so on. Unnecessary. The split cause, and you don't become automaton. What's up, brother? I'll see you in a minute. Oh, zero? Yeah? Oh, man. All right. It's curse removed. Anyway, the split caused by self-reflective consciousness is healed. It's curse removed. There is no self, okay, that you need to protect, defend, or feed anymore. When you are enlightened, there is one relationship that you no longer have, the relationship with yourself. Once you have given that up, all your other relationships will be love relationships. Isn't that plutonic? The next time we'll be going beyond happiness and unhappiness. There's, you know, there is a form of peace, okay? Let's go to the next part. I hope this is something for the so-called Fridayers, the Fridayers. Righteous T, what's up, beloved? Hey, get the cash up in there, people. Or you can, whatever, to what you call it. So let's put that up there. Now we go to Helena Blavatsky. Oh. Hope if you came back, they didn't capture you. Chapter 7. This is Helena Blavatsky and the Masters of Ancient Wisdom, occult visionary, and her connection to the Mahatmas, Ancient Wisdom Institute, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Chapter 7. The Trials of a Mystic. Okay. Oh, who else came up in here? Hey, Sharon. What's up, mama? All right, so let's carry it on. Okay. I see a lot of people not hitting that like, but it's okay. It's all right. I know my voice is, the vibration, even through the phone, is, they want to study it, right? You had Barry White and you killed him. You had, oh, I'm not going to start getting into all the different names with those with what they call baritone and monotone voices, because you can't kill what you don't know. Scandal, slander, and solitude. No spiritual path unfolds without resistance. For Helena Blavatsky, the late 1880s brought a series of trials that would challenge her health, her reputation, her sense of purpose. At the center of this difficult chapter in her life was a document that would come to haunt her legacy for decades, the Hodgson's Report, Hodgson report. Look it up. In 1884, the Society for Physical Research, SPR, a British organization dedicated to investigating paranormal claims, sent a young researcher named Richard Hodgson to India to examine allegations. You got to remember, though, what do they call Handia? When was it called India, people? That's why I wish we could help our light-skinned folks write better. When they write, they can write all the truth. It was called Hindustan, which was originally what? Don't go into the Brahmanism of things. Northern what? Ethiopians. That's who they are. The first to break away. At least, as far as I know. Anyway, this organization dedicated to investigating paranormal claims sent to a young researcher named Richard Hodgson to India to examine allegations surrounding Blavatsky's and the Theosophical Society. At that time, the Society's headquarters had been established in Adyar, near Madras, now Chennai, and Blavatsky was living and working among a growing international community of Theosophists. Blavatsky had made bold claims not only about the existence of the Mahatmas, but also about letters allegedly materialized through occult means. Some were said to have appeared in sealed boxes or manifested on walls. The skeptics had taken notice, and Hodgson's mission was to determine whether these phenomena were genuine or the result of deception. Okay? The result of his, like down like in South America, majority of statues and pictures and stuff were all made in in 1960s and 40s by you know who. They've done outed about several of these individuals, Spaniards or um, Khazars who speak Spanish that are down there creating all this fake history where they go. Anyway, the Hodgson report accused Blavatsky of being a fraud, a charlatan, and the creator of an elaborate hoax involving forged letters and stage phenomena. It concluded that the Mahatma letters were likely written by Blavatsky herself and that the entire theosophical project, had been manipulated to build a cult of personality around her. Now, the report spread quickly and severely damaged her credibility in academia or academics and public circles. Even many within the spiritualist community, which had previously embraced her, began to distance themselves. In an era already skeptical of mysticism, the accusation of fraud, especially from a respected organization, cast a long shadow. So it must be obvious of who these individuals must be, because I proved already that so-called pirate ships and all those were Tartarian war battleships to fight an existential enemy, to which y'all be dealing with soon enough. Anyway, Blavatsky, all right, so anyway, cast a long shadow, blah, blah, blah. Especially from a respected organization, cast a long shadow, blah, blah, blah. Blavatsky, for her part, denied the accusation. Blavatsky, for her part, denied the accusation. She pointed to inconsistencies and errors in Hodgson's methods and insisted that the phenomena in question were genuine. She expressed deep disappointment that people she had trusted within the Adyar headquarters had cooperated with the investigation or failed to defend her. You know how that is. It's just like in the Muslim movement, the Black Panther movement, you have these dumb agents to get in there. They don't know shit, but they are conditioned, they sign on or whatever to destroy things within by changing people's minds who are very weak, who aren't doing the real work, and the fall away from grace happens. It always happens. They always succeed because you have worthless individuals around you who really aren't worthless, but they don't aspire to be better than anything because they've accepted the physical ordination instead of seeking the spiritual. Some of them turn around and become whistleblowers and tell secrets and on their deathbeds and all that. They run around with the other idiots who held on to that position, trying to hide and bury that as if it's going to overcome and win. Anyway, the situation was made worse by internal divisions within the Theosophical Society itself, as tensions between leadership figures and differing interpretations of the society's direction created additional strain. Okay? Wounded but not defeated, Blavatsky left India, or Hindustan, all right, or North Ethiopia, and returned to Europe. Her health was already failing, and she suffered from chronic illness exacerbated by stress and fatigue. But she continued to write, teach, and guide those who remained loyal to her vision in 1887. She settled in London and established a new branch of the Theosophical movement, focusing on the inner teachings and forming what became known as the esoteric section. As you know, they had already perverted all that. Despite the controversies, or perhaps because of them, Blavatsky remained a force of intellect and will. She understood, perhaps better than anyone, that to stand publicly for hidden truths was to invite scrutiny, projection, and misunderstanding. She did not pretend to be a saint. She admitted to being difficult, impatient, and at times temperamental, but she held fast to her conviction that she was serving a larger mission, not one of personal glorification, but of awakening. There is a deeper archetypal theme in this period of her life, the lonely path of the initiate. I mean, look at that Border Patrol guy who slammed that girl, right, on her face and everything. They went and arrested him in LA, where all these dumb satanic monkeys are running around in costume. I hate they misuse the word satanic and all that other stuff, these idiots who have been conditioned and groomed and paid high wages. And then all of a sudden, you know, he overdoses. So I guess that's a message sent out to all the people in ICE and DHA and all this other stuff. Instead of them coming together and saying, not today, but because you have a handful of idiots that love that world of physical, they will hate the very end. But this is what you get. In spiritual traditions throughout history, those who walk close to the edge of convention, those who attempt to transmit knowledge beyond the accepted norms, often find themselves cast out, attacked, are mischaracterized. Mystics, prophets, and esoteric teachers frequently move through cycles of revelation, rejection, and retreat. For Blavatsky, these years were both isolating and clarifying. Her circle of support grew smaller but more devoted. Her writings became more focused on inner development and ethnical discipline, and she encouraged her students not to be passive believers, but to cultivate inner discernment and resilience. The true spiritual path, she said, was not measured by public approval, but by alignment with truth, even when that truth brought discomfort or alienation. Yeah, I don't care one way or the other. Let's get into the sacred. Let's get into the signs of the sacred secretion. Damn. So I want to read something here. Genesis chapter 32 verse 30 states that Jacob named the place Peniel, because he had wrestled with a divine being and his life was spared. The verse is the culmination of the wrestling match described in Genesis 32, where Jacob fought an unknown man, was renamed Israel, and saw God face to face, yet was not destroyed. Let me help you out with a truth. He was divided, his soul and his physical, one of the first fallaways. He wrestled with himself under duress and stress. He gazed upon the water and saw his reflection, and he accepted the truth of the outcome. And Jacob called the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. The pineal gland is a tiny gland in the center of the brain. Not up here with the third eye, none of that bullshit. Right in here. That receives more blood flow than any other area of the body. The pineal is shaped like, hence named after a pine cone, when we look at the title pineal esoterically. It can be split into pine based on its shape and al, which means God. Al or I. A-L-I. Open the pod doors, Al. Open the pod doors, Al. 2001 Space Odyssey, looking at the big monolith, the eye standing there alone. Black. Anyway, therefore the name pineal literally means the eye or pine of God, or the pine of I. This gland is intimately linked to our body's perception of light. It is the size of the pinky finger, nail, okay, and is lined with tissue called pineal lights, yeah, something like that, pineal sites, there you go, which are similar to the rods and cones in the eyes. It also has the same wiring to the visual cortex. Remember I was talking about the tree and earth yesterday? Possible, right? Anyway, rods and cones in the eyes, it also has the same wiring to the visual cortex, part of the brain as the two eyes. For these reasons, the pineal is believed to be the third eye and the origin of non-physical connection. Well, that's why they want to keep it calcified, right? What's more, for any readers with an interest in mathematics and geometry, if you follow the golden ratio, also known as the Fibonacci constant, okay, a mathematical formula that appears everywhere in nature, along the circumference of the brain, the spiral will end at the exact point of the pineal. Go ahead and pull up the Fibonacci, the brain, spiral. You know, they've done anime, the Japanese, they always tell secrets over there. When you think about Goku, you know, Krillin and Vegeta and all those, you know, when you get into the, you know, the Kamehameha and all that, and I think I straightened mostly real, you know, you'll have a clearer understanding of what I'm stating without self-interpretation. Anyway, For these reasons, the pineal is believed to be the third eye and the origin of non-physical connection. Now, what's more, for any readers with an interest in mathematics and geometry, remember, go look at the golden ratio, okay? Now, along the circumference of the brain, remember the circumference of the brain, the spiral will end at the exact point of the pineal. So make sure you highlight that. In addition, the pineal gland develops in the human fetus at 49 days, 7 weeks. And they want to chop the body up, and they got all these women believing in this bullshit, and men scared because they can't get a job or they're on drugs. They're destroying that which they have no purpose, no reason to be touching, these fake ass doctors and everybody else, regardless of rape or whatever, because majority of damn marriages, a lot of you don't even want to be with the person you went when you figure it out. It's rape anyway, god damn it, one way or the other. And it costs. Better off buying a goddamn prostitute. I'm just saying, excuse my language, in the physical world. Now and that's the unconscious world. Now in the conscious world, all that doesn't matter. You see what I just did? No, I know you didn't. But anyway, after conception, now be mindful of that. This is also the same time that the first indication of gender develops, and when, according to Buddhists, the reincarnated soul enters the physical body. The moment the seed in the egg touches, it's there. That's why that's some made up bullshit. Anyway, consequently, the pineal is often 8 ounces, often referred to as the antenna to universal energy. From the Egyptians, they all want to wear beards now. Fucking A. From the Egyptian staff of Osiris to the head of the Hindu god Shiva, ancient Assyrian palace carvings to the Roman Thyris and Pygma. They hated when we wore beards, man. Now look at them. Anyway, symbols representing the pineal gland can be observed throughout history. It is these endless references to the pine cone and pineal, however you want to call it, that have led to the common belief that the gland is a spiritual organ and are linked to higher levels of reality. Unsurprisingly, the pineal is largely associated with spirituality and access to higher dimensions. Thank you, Mr. Pulaski. Even the ancient Greeks believed that the pineal was our link to other realms of thought, shown through monuments and images of physical beings holding pine cones. Biologically, the pineal gland is responsible for producing melatonin. Do not take the over-the-counter shit. The shit destroys you. A natural chemical that regulates sleep patterns. Melatonin is also, eat some kiwi from New Zealand, organic. Chemical that regulates sleep patterns. Melatonin is also the precursor to a vast range of other chemicals such as serotonin, which balances mood, and DMT, all right, a psychedelic spirit molecule that will be explained later. We went through that. The pineal also has the job of secreting these directly into the cerebral spinal fluid molecule, rich liquid that travels through our nervous system. It is because of this that Dr. Joe Dispenza, right, refers to the pineal as the body's alchemy center. Cure and heals everything. Frequencies, balance, and all that. So why did they disrupt everything with 404, 808, glyphosates, PFASs, blah, 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 blah? I really hope this is helpful for Friday. For the idiots who will disrupt my channel, you will wish you had never come to know me. I'll make sure of that. Personally. That I can guarantee as well. And the rest of you, I appreciate you. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me see something. What about? Oh, Hindustan. Yes, also an excellent read. I appreciate you. Yours was as well. Yes. I had to go and I had to hit turn off the notification bell on yours and turn it back on to get the notification. And that came all late. I had posted the video. I was pissed off. So something else. Before I got my health cleared up, I would be trapped into the physical hunger for a woman. But nah, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. You just don't have to, you got to differentiate which is the appropriate woman. Not whoa man, but woman, because a lot of times men, I'm gonna tell you again, stop and select the appropriate woman for you, and the appropriate woman, which they exist in plentiful, will be there for you. Okay. Who's that? I wish everybody else that came in here would speak up. I appreciate you guys. So for these people that come in here talking about hi and where he is, oh y'all don't, you know what? I wish there was a way I could just block y'all out, because you don't hit the like, you don't do anything supportive. I don't need you here. I don't want you here. All right, that's a slap in your face. Take it however you may. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. If you want to donate to help brother out this weekend, so be it. I'm not eating, so I mean, I got fruits right here. I'm looking at them like, the temptation, but I'm not easily tempted. See you guys here in a few. I got to charge that thing up.